Hey y'all, I just listened to The Fall Off by J. Cole and here are my first impressions of it. Please note that opinions on music can change over time, especially with highly anticipated albums like this one. Also, this is all just my first opinion off of literally just one listen, so if I get anything wrong, then that may be why. Besides that, let's get into The Fall Off. J. Cole is one of the biggest rappers in the world, especially after the whole Big Three conversation, and for good reason. Cole has a fantastic discography with multiple great albums. He has really almost everything you could want out of a rapper, being a fantastic lyricist and songwriter, hitmaker, and even being a cool feature artist. While he may not be one of my absolute favorite rappers, I still really like his music and have listened to every single one of his projects on Spotify. Albums like Friday Night Lights, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and The Off Season are fantastic, yet there's one project that's been looming over his discography for years. The Fall Off has been in the making for apparently 10 whole years, according to J. Cole himself, and now that it's finally out, I gotta say it's good, but I'm not sure if it's good enough. Cole has constantly been hyping this up as his final album. Quote, "What if Jay-Z dropped Reasonable Doubt last?" End quote. I think that's a good goal to reach for, but after listening, there are just so many confusing choices made here, as well as risks taken that just do not pan out. Frankly, I'm left a bit confused after my first listen. This is a good album, but it's nowhere close to being his best, and this album could have been so easily improved that it makes me wonder what Cole was thinking here. I think the concept, for example, is just not really executed properly on this record, and it hurts the experience as a whole. I think the idea here is solid. Disc 1 focuses on Cole at the height of his career, and Disc 2 focuses on him at his lowest. I just don't think he delved deep enough into this concept for it to be fully formed, rather than being just an idea. Like, for example, Disc 1 features a lot of tracks where Cole reflects on returning to his hometown after achieving fame, and how that's changed his view of everything. Disc 2, on the other hand, is just a lot of disjointed ideas related to his fall off, like the beef, his wife and family, and his role in the rap game. I just personally don't see how these two discs connect yet, and it makes the record feel a bit disjointed to me. It seems like he's trying to compare and contrast these two moments in his life, but I don't think he really achieves that well here. I also frankly think this idea just doesn't work very well with the name The Fall Off. I'm not exactly sure what Cole is trying to say about fame, being in the spotlight, and falling off. He's reflecting on himself post Drake versus Kendrick, but I don't think he's actually trying to say anything as a whole. I would have liked to see Cole get a little more conceptual for a record as big as this one, and actually try to make a big statement before he retires. That's the type of idea that will fade as I listen to the album more and more, and get more familiar with what this album is rather than what I wish it was. But off first listen, I think this concept has a lot of wasted potential. I think the concept would have worked a lot better if Cole had limited himself to a shorter track list so he could really nail down the big ideas of what he's trying to say and how they all connect to each other. I think this being a double album is a real negative here in many ways. Not only does it hurt the concept, but it really hurts the consistency and listening experience of this record. There's a joke people like to throw around that J. Cole puts people to sleep, and like, I certainly don't think that's true or anything, but I can understand how people may not like him. I listened to this album with a friend, and he said that, quote, 90% of this album just isn't memorable. And I can't say that I blame him. Personally, I think there are tons of memorable tracks here, but I think for those who don't care about lyrical content as much, they may not like some of the songs here. I feel like for a retirement album, especially one as anticipated as this one, Cole could have done a lot more to diversify each song and make them stand out. There are certainly standout tracks. 39 Intro has a fantastic beat switch and great verse. The Fall Off is Inevitable has fantastic rapping by Cole. What If has a fantastic song concept and is really interesting response to the 2024 beef. I just think he could have done so much more, and on a 24 song album, it's hard to not have some songs fall to the wayside a bit. For an album with a quality goal like Reasonable Doubt, I'd expect Cole would go much harder with his rapping than he did here. More interesting song concepts, more interesting production, and frankly, just more intense rapping. To me, this album sounds like a typical J. Cole album. A good one for sure, but nothing that stands out much from the rest of his discography. I do wish that there were a few more features on this track list as well. J. Cole is known for his lack of features on many of his projects, and I think that's one of his biggest strengths. Not everyone is able to carry an entire album on their own, and most of the time, Cole is able to successfully do that. I do think since this album is so long though, more features would do wonders for the pacing of this record. The features that are here don't do much for me and are way too minimal to be one of much note. Future especially just feels like a waste on this track list. Not only do I not think he would fit a J. Cole album, but I would have at least liked to hear him try to do so with a full verse. Besides that, the features are so minimal, I can't say much more about them. Cole did do one thing though to try and diversify the track list, including multiple songs with guitars, singing, and even singer-songwriter-esque lyrics and melodies. I think this type of music will grow on me with time, but I just personally don't understand why Cole decided to take a risk like this. I would personally not call him a gifted singer, certainly not bad or anything, but I don't come to his catalog for him to sing, especially on an album like The Fall Off. I think this approach works well for songs like 39 Intro, as it serves as a build-up for the second half of that track. But on most of the other tracks like this, it just really hurts the song for me. For an album that I expected to be a love letter to hip-hop, there's way more non-hip-hop songs on here than I thought there would be. Even the intro, 2-6, just does not meet expectations for an album like this, sounding way too frantic and repetitive for Cole's body of work. I actually think the next song on the project, Safety, does a way better job at opening the album and setting up the central themes of the first disc. Album intros are really important, especially for highly anticipated albums like this one, and I think Cole knew that. That's why he chose 2-6 to open the track list, in my opinion. It just doesn't fit in with this project, however. It kind of feels like it was made out of obligation to try and meet expectations rather than being true to his vision for The Fall Off. When even the intro doesn't hit, that lets me know that a few fundamental curation mistakes were made, causing this to fall short of being Reasonable Doubt but last. I don't think it's impossible to meet expectations for albums like these. Look at Utopia, which was 5 years in the making, and I loved it on first listen. Even if an album wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, if the vision for the project was strong enough, I shouldn't care. I think The Fall Off has a few mistakes with its concept and track list that just cause the project as a whole to not be able to fully meet expectations. If this were to be released as the same exact project without the multi-year wait, I'd expect to be a little more positive. When you market your album to be your best yet, however, you need to actually be able to follow through with that claim. So yeah, off first listen, I'm slightly disappointed. I don't think this is a bad album by any means. Cole is rapping his ass off on tons of songs, there are tons of amazing song concepts, and great production / use of sampling as well. There's also a lot of songs that I think could be cut too though. A lot of ideas, specifically the central concept and narrative of the album, could also have been fleshed out way more than they were. For an album like The Fall Off that was set up to be Cole's best, I don't think it reaches that goal. At this current point in time, The Fall Off ranks somewhere in the upper half of Cole's discography for me, but not close to his best projects like Friday Night Lights. As I continue to listen to this album, dig into the lyrics and song concepts, and frankly, just get used to what this album is rather than what I expected it to be and marketed to be, then I expect that it'll grow on me. For an album as anticipated and legendary as The Fall Off, however, I just thought it would be more off first listen. I recommend The Fall Off, just don't go in expecting reasonable doubt or anything. 7 out of 10. Well, y'all, that's what I think about The Fall Off. Please remember that this is not a real review of this album, just a quick first impressions off a single listen. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like, comment, or even subscribe. Those are all my thoughts on The Fall Off so far, but I do want to take the last few moments to talk about me and my channel. Alright, so, yeah. I decided to make a fall off video. I didn't think I would. Like I said in my Don Toliver Octane review, I wasn't planning on making this video, but I completely changed my mind because of something that happened. So, I made a 2025 game ranking video, right, like a month ago now. And I wanted to also make an album ranking video for 2025, but I hadn't been keeping track over the year of what albums I've listened to and like where I would rank them. So for this year, 2026, I've been doing that so far. I've only listened to 3 new albums. There's 2 more on my radar that I want to listen to, the DaBaby and Joji. But I've been doing that, right? And so I wasn't going to make a full video review of The Fall Off. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to remember what I thought about this record at the end of the year. And like, I probably will re-listen to it, but I want to have something I can look back on and get some quick thoughts on it. So it was like, hey, I post like mini game reviews on How Long to Beat. Fun fact, by the way, I've been doing that for 6 years now. Yay. Anyways, I was like, well, why don't I do the same on Album of the Year? So I can like write a mini review on this record. So I do that. I start writing on Album of the Year. And then when I finish my review of The Fall Off on Album of the Year, it's like 1,100 words. So I'm like, wait, yo, this is a really, really good script. So why don't I just turn it into a YouTube video? And so that's exactly what I did. I went back in, I added maybe 3 or 4 paragraphs. No, like 5 because of the intro and outro, I guess. But yeah, I added a little bit to it and I was like, fuck it, I'll just make this a video. And this was the most fun I've ever had reviewing a album so far. Because I didn't have to go track by track and like, because I don't like doing that, because by the end, like a lot of times I don't have anything to say. So I'm like, yep, this song fits in, like, you know what I mean? So this one, I was just so inspired by this record because it is a really dense record and it's really complex, I would say. So I had a lot of opinions to say about it. And yeah, so I wanted to really talk about it, and also being like a first impressions, like I don't have to have a strong opinion on the lyrics of this record, but I can also mention like impactful records that I loved, like What If, which I think is a fantastic song. So yeah, like I loved making this video. I've never had this much fun making a music review. I haven't had this much fun making a YouTube video in so long. This is why I love doing YouTube, for stuff like this. So yeah, like, I don't know, that's what I have to say about The Fall Off for right now. That's all I have to say right now, I think. My next video will still be the Destiny 2 Renegades video. I still don't plan on making, like, reviews. Like, I could review the new Charlie XCX album next week, but frankly, I don't think I'm gonna like it, so I'm probably not going to. So yeah, you guys, like, just a quick little video. You know, I hope you guys like it, and I really appreciate you guys for checking out my first impressions of The Fall Off. Yay! Oh, by the way, I wanted to add, by the way, I literally got my 10th anniversary of 2014 Forest Hills Drive vinyl literally yesterday, which is the day the Fall Off came out, I guess. Or is it, I guess technically the day before it came out. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that was so crazy that I got it the same day. Like, I literally just went on the Interscope website and I saw they had it and I was like, oh, I thought it sold out. Nope. So I was able to get that. So yeah, it was fate that I would make a video on this album. So yeah, you guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching this video. My first impressions of the Fall Off, and I see y'all next time. I'll see y'all next time, and yeah, thanks for watching, y'all.